ice in my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. I hope everybody's having a great day. Happy Monday, and welcome to Investing Simplified, the series where it's two everyday people, typically maybe more, and tonight is two, where we just break down savings, budgeting, investing, and show people how everyday people can do it. And we try to debunk a lot of the myths that are out there. You can't do it, you need a lot of money, because that's not always the case. And tonight, I have a special guest, Mr. Clarence Patrick. 8,000 subscribers on YouTube, 410 videos. We're going to break it down. We're going to get simple and talk to you about saving and getting to the bag, but not only getting to the bag, we're going to show you how to keep the bag. Hey, welcome to Investing Simplified. Investing with Rod, everybody. See, when I do these, I always be nervous, but hold on, let me bring this back. Let me woo saw. Now, welcome to Investing with Rod. On this channel, we talk about stocks, crypto, ETFs, or exchange traded funds, but more importantly, we show you how to invest with a little amount of money. I take you on my journey, and tonight I have a special guest. Again, Clarence Patrick here. He's a content creator. He's on YouTube. He's on Instagram. And we just talk behind the stage. First time actually speaking. We've had dialogue, but first time actually speaking. And it's always amazing when you have people that are like-minded. I'm not going to do a lot of talking. Do your boy a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Blow on it. Kiss it. I don't care what you do to it. Just make sure it's pointing upwards, and make sure it changes colors. It got to change some color from one color to another. And then share this out. If you have a community tab, tell somebody about it. Even if they catch the replay, tell somebody about it, so they'll see that ordinary people like Clarence and myself, we care about other ordinary people, and we just want to see everyone succeed. Without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring the guest up, make sure he's ready. I'm ready. And without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Clarence Patrick, what's going on, my brother?
What is going on? I appreciate the invite.
Hey, man, glad to have you here. Glad to have you here. And, man, I was telling you backstage, when I ask people to come on any channel that I have, it's always nerve-wracking because they have the opportunity to tell me a word that I hate to hear, and that is no. I hate to hear the word no. And often when I talk to people, Clarence, about, hey, do you have a savings plan? Do you have a strategy? Are you invested? I hear the word that I hate to hear, which is no. Do you often hear that?
I hear it all the time, man. I hear it all the time. I used to be that guy.
Same here, same here. And before I say anything else, man, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself? I'm going to give you center stage. I'm going to be right here. Keep it brief because I got some questions for you, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, obviously, Clarence Patrick, I've been on YouTube for about 3 years. I always tell people I've been in these YouTube streets for about 3 years. And I started off on YouTube because I wanted to actually just start telling people how I've actually started from nothing and actually was able to start investing with little amounts of money. On my channel, we talk about invest and chill, and that's all we do. We talk about how do we build wealth over a long period of time, because we've been told a lot of lies throughout our lives about money. You got to save money, stay away from investing. Those are all the things that we were taught, and I started my channel because I wanted to make sure that people knew that there was a better way to actually get to the bag. So I started out understanding that, you know, things were going to be tough because I grew up in a small town in West Virginia, Morgantown. I was a military brat. I moved around a lot. I lived in Ohio. I lived in Pittsburgh. I lived in DC. So I was always that guy that had to adapt and make changes. And you know, as I got older and I went to college, got my undergraduate degree, I was in a lot of debt, just like most people. And I think that's where my story started, was just being in debt and trying to figure out, what do I need to do to actually get to the bag? And that's why I started my channel. And that's why I started taking a look at how did the greats like the Buffetts of the world, you know, the Mungers of the world. Where did they start out and how'd they get to where they are today? So
wow. So you took my first question,
oh,
which
I'm
is
sorry
where
about
you're
that.
originally from. No, that's cool, man. We ain't got no rules over here. You know, we got a few, but not too many. But you grew up in West Virginia, military brat. You moved around. And where do you live now, Clarence, if you don't mind me asking?
Yes, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. I've been down here since 2018. I was actually in Pittsburgh before I moved down here. The job took me down here, my 9 to 5, and, you know, took a chance. Didn't know anybody down here, no family. And I took it as an opportunity to kind of reset and rebrand myself. You know, when I got down here, I got my real estate license. So I'm a licensed realtor in the state of in the state of North Carolina. And I used that to network with people. And, you know, that was one of the biggest changes that I've had over the past few years.
Gotcha. Now I have some questions, and y'all, this is really not an interview. It's going to be more of an interview / conversation. I've already given Clarence the green light. Hey, if he want to just jump in and talk about something that I haven't mentioned, we're going to do that. But the first question I have for you, now I'm going to ask questions, but I'm also going to give my opinion. Do you think people overcomplicate savings and investing?
Absolutely. I think they overcomplicate it because, number one, most people, right, they don't understand investing at all. When I talk to people, most of us were never taught about how to invest when we were younger, right? We were taught to save money and spend money, and that was it. And one other thing that I've, you know, learned over, you know, kind of being in these YouTube streets, so to speak, is that we often operate without a budget. If you don't have a budget and you don't know where every dollar is going, then you're just setting yourself up for failure.
Exactly. And just so everybody know, we're not here to talk over anyone's head. We may mention a few stocks, a few cryptocurrencies, but we're really here to get ideas, to see how you're investing, to see how you're saving, to tell you how we did it, and maybe get to a common ground where we can get everybody. I mean, in 2025, the economy, it was bananas. And all I heard were people saying, what am I going to do? Well, don't continue to say, what am I going to do? Instead of asking a question, let's make a statement. This is what I'm going to do, period. Let's not ask a question. So, Clarence, my next question, man, what made you start a YouTube channel about investing? I mean, you could have kept all this to yourself. You didn't have to share it with everybody. What made you do that?
Well, I'll tell you what, I have a lot of friends and family that would ask me questions about investing, and they get to a point where they just got tired of hearing me talk about it. And my wife finally said, why don't you start a YouTube channel or go talk to somebody else about it? Because there's so many people out there that need to hear that message. And, you know, we talked a little bit backstage before the show started. And when I started my channel back in 2023, I didn't really take it very serious. I think my first year, I may have posted like maybe 6 videos or something like that. I kept making excuses of why not to post. Everything had to be perfect. And then at the top of 2025, that's when I decided to lock in and really go hard at it. So it was really just about educating people that may have had similar backgrounds as you and I, that just needed to hear that voice from somebody that, you know, they could relate with.
Gotcha. Now, was there ever a point that you wanted to quit? I know we're gonna get into investing, but I'm building a foundation here. Was there ever a point where you wanted to quit YouTube?
It crossed my mind. But I can tell you that after everything that I've done throughout my life, you know, getting my undergraduate degree, getting my MBA, having a kid as an 18-year-old, this was one of the few things that I started that I didn't quit. So it definitely crossed my mind because, you know, you have a channel, you know how it gets sometimes, you know, you put in all this work, this effort, and the payoff may not seem like it's happening, but if you stick with it, then it eventually comes. You know, we talked a little bit earlier at the top of 2025, I started that year with 700 subscribers, right? And whenever I decided to lock in and go hard, and really take content creation seriously, that's when my channel started to take off. I ended 2025 with about 7,800 subscribers, just past 8,000 a couple of days ago. And it just seems like I got a rhythm now, and I'm building a community over there where people are talking with each other, giving each other advice. And, you know, the motto and the theme of my channel is invest and chill.
Gotcha. Now, I'm gonna give the people what they want. They came here to talk about investing in savings, and you did a video. And if y'all see me looking down, I have my notes on my iPad here. How did you finally break away from paycheck to paycheck living? We hear that so much. People, I know I did it. I did it for a long time. I was a career paycheck to paycheck guy for a while until one day I said, man, I can't keep doing this. I need to get ahead. How did you break that habit of living paycheck to paycheck?
It was two things, right? Number one was creating a budget. Like I was that person that didn't want to create a budget, right? I didn't think that I needed it. I thought that I knew, whenever I get paid, I've got, whatever bills that need to get paid. I didn't think that I needed it. So that was the very first thing that I did because it helped me to understand where my money was going every single month. And then the second thing that I stopped doing was I had to get out of debt, right? I had so much credit card debt. Well, at the time, so much credit card debt to me was around $10,000. My wife and I had in credit card debt. We had about $40,000 in student loan debt. I'm a car guy. Like that's my kryptonite. I have to always go get a car. So that was the main thing was you have to stop the bleeding. Any of the debt that has coming out of your account every single month, you have to actually understand how that's impacting your ability to build wealth and you have to get rid of it. I made a video a couple of weeks ago. And one of the things that I talked about was getting rid of the car and getting rid of the things that come out of your account every single month, your Netflix subscriptions, your Hulu subscriptions, your gym membership, things that may not seem like a lot of money, but over a long period of time adds up.
Right. Gotcha. And I was that car guy too, man. I started to work at a car dealership. So boy, that was really terrible. Now, in this day and age, a lot of people are working 9 to 5s and they say they can't make it. And I know you have a channel, so you have a side hustle. I have a couple of channels, so I have a side hustle. What's the importance of people having, not necessarily, I don't like to use the term side hustle, but even though we do work with YouTube, what's the importance of having passive income? Income that's coming to you, coming to an individual where you do little or no work. How important do you think that is for individuals?
I think it's one of the, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think that's one of the most important things, again, that we aren't taught in our youth, right? Because whenever I went to college and I started to meet people from different walks of life, it was common for them to have a side hustle or have a business or to have something else that's bringing money into their pockets. See, if you've been paying attention to the news lately, you know that there are layoffs going on across the United States, Amazon, UPS, Microsoft, you name it. And having just your 9 to 5 that you're relying on for money, it's dangerous. So you have to actually go out there and you have to figure out how can you earn extra income? See, we're all good at something, even though we may not know what it is right now, but we're all really good at something. And once we figure out what that something is, you can monetize it. It doesn't have to be a lot of money. It could be $20, $50, $100, but it's a way to start, building out that secondary income because you never want to get caught flat-footed with just your 9 to 5. That's a mistake.
Gotcha. And I totally agree. And I think so many people, I'm one of those people. I got comfortable with my 9 to 5, so comfortable that they gave me an office outside. Outside of the building, outside of the property, and outside of the block. They gave me a whole new position. And that's what I try to talk to people. It's okay with being comfortable, but comfortability doesn't happen when you've been there a year or two. It's usually 5, 10, 20 years. And you've been so comfortable that you never had a plan B, C, or D. And that's what I try to get people. Get a plan B even before plan A falls apart. Don't get plan B when plan A dissolves. So
there's so many things that we can do that just put ourselves ahead of like the average person. Just getting that second job, that side hustle. See, you have a channel just like I do. You have multiple channels. I just have one. So I love to work. So doing my 9 to 5 and then coming home and taking a look at, what am I going to create that particular week on my channel? Am I going to try to invest in real estate or flip a condo? I flipped a condo down in Atlanta a couple of years ago with one of my friends. So like I'm constantly looking for ways to bring additional income into my household. So it's after a while, it gets to a point to where it's like, it's like second nature. You do your 9 to 5, then you come home and you start figuring out, okay, how can I work for myself? I always tell people, why go and put all that work, effort, and energy into making somebody else wealthy and then come home and not be willing to do something for yourself?
Mm-hmm. Got you. Now, thinking about that, you did a video, 15 lessons that you wish you knew when you were in your 20s. I don't want all 15 of them because I would remember if you asked me, but does one or two things stick out that you did in your 20s that you are doing now or later on in life that you wish you would have known or did in your 20s?
Yeah, I would say a couple of things, right? And I already hit on one of these earlier, but car guy. Like when I say car guy, I'm in and out of a car every 12 to 18 months. And if anybody that's in the chat or anybody that watches this replay later, they're a car guy, they understand how much money that takes out of your pocket whenever you're doing that. Mm-hmm. Second, I graduated college. I had almost $40,000 in student loan debt. And I'm a supporter of college. I believe that college is good, but I think the way that I did it wasn't the correct way. I often tell people, if you want to go to college now, that's great, go do that. But maybe start off at a community college or a junior college where you can cash flow your way through your first 2 years, and then you can transfer over to a 4-year college to finish out your degree. So if I had to do it all over again, one, I would stay away from the cars. I would take a different route when doing my education. And then lastly, it's just the debt. I mean, I don't want to make this so oversimplified, but that's really what it is. It comes down to debt. If you're in debt, it takes away your ability to do anything else.
Yeah, you did a video that said debt-free is the new flex. I mean, it's the new flex.
It's the new flex, man. And I'm telling you, for the past 4 or 5 years, all I've had is a mortgage. And I can't tell you how many times I've went into my checking account. And I'm like, oh man, where did this money come from? It's just almost like having newfound money whenever it's not going out of your household every single month. And I truly believe that's the new flex. You get on YouTube, you get on Instagram, and everybody has these, lavish lifestyles and all that good stuff. And then it makes you kind of think, am I behind? Am I doing something wrong? I'm telling you, and again, we talked about this before the show kicked off. There's a lot of people that are out there that talk about finances. They're in this space, but are they really living what they're telling everybody? That's the question.
No, they're not.
Exactly.
As a matter of fact, I have to diffuse sometimes that I'm not living like people think I'm living. I've had people say, show us the mansion. What mansion? I need to show myself. I don't have a mansion. Or, if I have a car, I didn't buy it new. I bought it pre. I haven't bought a new car since 1994. All of my cars have been either certified pre-owned or pre-owned. I worked at a dealership, so I knew which ones to get.
Exactly. And as you can see, I come to this live in a hoodie. If you watch any of my videos, I'm not wearing suits or doing anything like that, right? I'm just trying to relate to the people and just be as real as possible.
Yep. And that's what we have to do now. Debt-free being the new flex, in Clarence's opinion, not worrying about it being right or wrong, where would you start if you're going to become debt-free? If you was a person right now just feeling like you were swamped in debt, where would you start? I mean, where's a good starting point?
Good starting point would be to take a look at everything that you have going on right now and get rid of everything. Most people are not going to do that. Most people are not going to get rid of the cars. Most people are not going to get rid of the subscriptions. Most people are not going to move in with a roommate or move back at home if they're able to do it. But if I had to start at zero right now and under a mountain of debt, I would get rid of every single thing that I have at that current point in time. And I would start from zero, start from scratch. I always tell people it's okay to have to take a step back or take a step sideways in order to get ahead, right? And I think a lot of times people fear, well, what's my neighbor going to say? What's my friend going to say if I get rid of the Benz, right? And I have to go to a Toyota Camry. It doesn't matter. If you're drowning in debt, what you're doing right now is not working. So what I always tell everyone is get rid of everything, sell it all, start over.
Yep. And you just brought up a point. I think one of the biggest reasons that people have issues is because they try to keep up with the Joneses. And I have a question I'm gonna ask you specific, but I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna probably say that a couple times, ladies and gentlemen. You know, the day you stop worrying about everybody and just worry about you, worry about your family, worry about your loved ones, you'll find out that when the Joneses or the Thomases or the Williams, when they run out of money, you may still have money and be doing the things, not what they did that you were trying to keep up with, but you're doing even more because you had preparation. A lot of these people, I guarantee you, you can see a person driving a Mercedes Benz and pull up to the gas station and get $7 worth of gas. That's not living, man. That's not living. I know I've been there. I had a Lexus getting $5 worth of gas. So
I'm gonna tell you what, one of the worst things that we can do is to spend money on things to impress people that we don't even really like. That's one of the worst things that we can do.
Or we don't even know them.
Or we don't know them.
And you just brought up a good point, Clarence, because a lot of times we will go buy stuff or do things just to make somebody that we think is hating on us mad or jealous, and they really don't care what we're doing, but we're trying so hard to get their attention, and we're just spending money and spending money.
Right. We might be in debt to drive that Lexus that you were talking about, right? Pull up at the stoplight, see somebody next to us. They're not worried about us and they'll never see us again. Right. Yep. So I think that was, again, I mean, I talk about these things on my channel, and I talk a lot about the things that I've done. So the things that I say is not to try to, shame people or make people feel bad. It's like, look, I've been down this path and this is what I did to change it.
Clarence bring up a great point. Speaking of his channel, it's pinned at the top of this live stream. Definitely subscribe to his channel. I don't bring people on the Investing Simplified series that I don't either know or I follow on YouTube. I'm not going to bring just anybody to this series because I need to know that we're like-minded. I don't care about we have like pockets or like bank account, as long as we have the same thought process to want to see people thrive and succeed. That's what you get here. So definitely subscribe to this channel. Now, man, I saw this here, and I think I've been doing this one wrong right here. You did a video, you said, get rich and stay quiet. Don't tell nobody about it. Boy, what do we want to do? And we is me. Boy, we get a little bit of money. We want to let everybody know we got some money. What was up with that, Clarence?
That was one of the videos. I was just sitting at home one day, and I was like, you know what? I had one of my boys, they hit me up and they were like, hey man, can you loan me $500? Can you loan me $200? And then I started thinking, whenever everybody that knows me, when they have a problem, they always reach out to me, right? And it's not that I don't want to help people, but when people know that you're doing well, their expectation is for you to always, carry them along with you. And again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't help those people out, but at some point you have to stay locked in, stay laser focused, because that's one aspect of it. I think the other aspect of it is when you talk about investing, if you have a circle of people, whether that be friends, family, whoever it is, they're not locked in on investing. They're going to start questioning what you're doing. Why are you not spending money on this trip? Why are you not going out to, there's always somebody there that's trying to figure out what you're doing because it's different. Most people are not locked in and focused on, saving, investing, building wealth, right? We're all just trying to buy things that we don't even need. So I've found that it's so much easier when you just stay quiet about it, go about your business, build your wealth in silence. And I'll probably say this a couple times tonight, but just invest and chill.
Hey, that's your slogan, man. You can say it 100 times.
Invest and chill, man.
And that's really, to me, when you've kind of made it to a certain plateau with investing. Now I look at my money all the time now because I'm doing this channel, I'm looking at different investments, not necessarily my money, but I remember having a Fidelity 401k and going from 10,000 to 20,000 seemed like it took 6 years because I was looking at it every single day I went to work. And I promise you, it didn't seem like it was moving. But when I stopped looking at it, it went from like 20 to 40,000. So I love to invest and chill. I can't steal your stuff. I ain't gonna say it over here, but I'm gonna say it to Rod.
You made a good point though. You were looking at your 401k and it took forever to go from $10,000 to $20,000. And one of the things that I really believe this is that most people don't stay consistent with investing because it takes time, right? And I think that's what the problem is. So I always say that investing, especially in the beginning, it's a long process and it's going to take you a while to actually start seeing some results, but you just have to stay consistent and stay focused. And it's interesting that you mentioned your 401k, because I was just looking at mine yesterday, right? And I was just like, man, I remember when I first started this versus where it's at now. And I would have never thought that it would get to this point. But again, just staying consistent and staying focused.
You know, speaking of 401k, and I don't have this in my notes, but a lot of stuff I talk about, I don't script. I just have little bullet points. Sure. But 401k, and I want to talk about something that a lot of people either don't know, they don't think about. When you look at your 401k, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to see a figure, and I'm going to make this simple. Try to keep it simple number. Let's say you have 20,000 in your 401k. If you're not 59 and a half, you're going to take a 10% tax, not tax, a 10% penalty from the jump. So you need, I'm going to say $1,000. 100 of it just went away from the giving it for the penalty. Then they're going to offer you, I always take it 20% for taxes. So now you're down 30%. So your 1,000 just went to $700. Clarence, do you have anything to add to that? Do you run into people that are just not knowledgeable about this or just?
Yeah. So it's not so much about withdrawals, but it's more along the lines of what they're investing in. See, I fell into this trap early on when I got my first real job after college, right? You start investing in your 401k, and most people, and I feel confident in saying this, most people, they just put money in, they don't know where it's going. They just get that fund, that target date fund that they give you, and you just kind of just never even look at it again. Right. So what I always tell people is there's a fee associated with investing in your 401k, and that's an expense ratio. And a lot of times what happens is you'll be in these target date funds, and I've seen expense ratios as high as 1%. And some people may say, that's not that much. You have $100,000 in a 401k, that 1% adds up, especially if you multiply that over 15, 20, 30 years. You're throwing a lot of money away. So that's one of the things that I always tell people. How much does it cost to invest in that fund that you have? And then I think the second point on 401ks, and I don't really want to get too far ahead because I don't know what questions that you have, but
go ahead, brother.
That was one of the ways that helped me to learn how to invest was my 401k. So again, some people don't realize that the advisors that they have, they're there and you can schedule time with them at no cost. And I remember I was working in the pharmaceutical industry, and I didn't know how to invest. My money was just going into a 401k. I had no idea where it was going, but I checked my balance. And one day I was like, you know what, I'm going to call and see if they'll just walk me through all this stuff. So I scheduled an hour and I asked so many questions. I asked what was, a passive investing versus active investing? What's an expense ratio? How do I determine how much it's costed me to invest in this particular fund? What's a mutual fund? And that person that was on the call with me was for about an hour and a half and walked me all the way through this stuff. And that's how I got my baseline understanding. So if there's anybody out there that's watching that has a 401k and you're not 100% certain, what you're investing in, how much it costs you, schedule time with those advisors and have those conversations. That's what they're paid to do.
Exactly, man. And Clarence just brought up a good point. I watch investing videos every day. I could easily say I know it all, everything I need to know about investing. I wouldn't even have a Clarence here if I hadn't been watching other people continuing to learn more or brush it up on what I already know. So don't be afraid to just ask questions. And if you don't want to ask, at least turn on YouTube and see what I'm talking about. Clarence is talking about the thousands of other people, but just be sure you're getting pertinent information, not just people just telling you anything. This is going to be the next stock. Do your own research. Speaking of which, this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Neither Clarence nor myself are financial advisors. We're not fiduciaries. Make sure you do your own research and consult with a licensed or professional before you invest any of your hard-earned money. I just want to put that out there. We're not financial advisors. We're just telling you about our journey. So, Now, my next question, Clarence, and I found it. Man, we're going to get back to this. We ain't going to even get back on it, but I just want y'all to remember this because I like this, how Clarence said lifestyle creep. What would you refer to when you said lifestyle creep? You remember?
Lifestyle creep it encompasses a few things. That's keeping up with the Joneses, right? But it's also whenever you start to make a little bit more money, you start to spend a little bit more money. I used to be one of those people that would say, I'm making $50,000 a year right now. If I only made $15,000 more, I'd be all right. And then I start making $15,000 more and I'm not all right because I'm spending that money, right? So when I talk about lifestyle creep, that's what I'm talking about, because the apartment that I had before that might have been 1,200 square feet that cost me $1,000 a month, that's not good enough anymore, right? Because I have an image to uphold, right? I'm making more money. So I got to move and I got to get a more expensive apartment. And instead of putting that money into my 401k or into a brokerage account, I'm spending it on things that don't mean anything, right? So that's what I meant when I talk about lifestyle creep.
Gotcha. Now, this one here, I ain't got no problem with this one. I had a problem with your first thing you said, but you did a video saying no could change your life forever. What was you talking about? Saying no to who?
Everybody and everything, right? So I think that, at least for me, when I made that video, one of the things that was going on with me at that time is I had a lot of different competing things that were taking my time, right? So I have a fairly demanding 9-to-5. I'm trying to build out this content. I'm also looking at trying to do some things in real estate. And there's always an opportunity to do something, right? Maybe, hey, let's go to the club. Hey, man, let's take this trip. Hey, let's go do this or let's go do that. And I think just saying no to the things that aren't contributing to your overall purpose and your overall goals, I think if you can start to do that, your life will start to change. So I'm 45 years old right now, right? And my plan is 10 more years. I want to hang it up, and not just hang it up and be the guy that's laying on the beach or anything like that, but just hang it up from corporate America and be able to do what I want to do, whether that's continuing to build out this space. Maybe I'll, get back into real estate. I don't know, but I think having the freedom to do that is really all I can ask for. And just being able to say no to some of the things that compete against what my overall goals are, that's going to be the game changer for me.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Clarence, I involuntarily retired at 53. No, I left corporate America and I was so bothered by hearing that cliche sentence, your services are no longer required. That's how it translated to my ears. That wasn't the exact words, but I'll say it's not what it's cracked up to be. You get bored pretty quick. You're going to probably have about 5 YouTube channels like I have. Just, like you said, you might dabble in the real estate, but there is nothing like, and this is going to segue into my next topic. There's nothing like being free. I can wake up when I want to. I can go to bed when I want, but I'm finding out now that I finally absorbed it in my mind that I'm working more hours and harder now than I did when I had a corporate job. Why? Because if I can get up, and I don't like to say what people say, if I can get up and work for any man or woman, surely I can get up and work for myself.
Absolutely.
So leading into my next question, we talked about lifestyle creeps. We talked about all these other things. Financial freedom. What does financial freedom mean to Clarence Patrick? What does it mean to you?
That's a good question. I would say financial freedom to me means I have no debts, including my mortgage. So you just talked about that you're retired from corporate America, right? So, and you can do whatever you want to do. And I think what has happened, especially in the social media era, is financial freedom means you have $20 million in an account and you're driving a Ferrari and you're taking trips every other week, right? But I think the reality of it is like you said, being able to do whatever you want, whenever you want to do it, and having a paid off house and no debt, that's financial freedom to me.
And I agree. And that's with me, Clarence. I used to want to be rich. I used to want to be a baller. I used to want to have cars, jewelry, watches. I did all that, but I wasn't free. I did the financial part of it, but I missed the free part. Then once I said, hey man, I want to be able to do what I want, when I want, how I want. I don't have to have the Louis Vuitton suits and shades and all that and the Rolex watches. I could have a Casio watch, a ball cap from wherever I got it from, and be the happiest person on the planet. And I started seeing people, especially when I was in the car business and people had to fill out a credit app and I had to look it over. I saw people living their best life that made $3,000 a month. I'm like, wait, something ain't right here. They're making 3. I'm making 5 figures a month, and I don't seem as happy as they seem. Exactly. And that's kind of why I wanted to ask Clarence that. Now I'm going to include the audience, the people in the chat in this next question, if I can find it. All right. You did a video, 7 habits. We've kind of touched on this, but I want to include everybody in this. And I'm going to come up with 3. I'm going to come up with 3 that I think would keep me broke. It's 7 habits that will keep you broke. I'm going to say 3, and I just want you to say yes or no if they're on your list of 7. But anybody that's watching this, please put in the comments 7 habits that you think will keep you broke, keep people broke, keep your cousin broke. I don't care who it keep broke. Just, just whatever. Just I want to get the audience to think, because the reason I do this is I'm not trying to talk about what I got or don't have. I'm trying to get people to think of where they could be. Even if you're at the mountaintop right now, let's go and find another mountaintop. Let's find a different mountain to climb. So one of the things I think that keep people broke, I'm not going to say keeping up with the Joneses. That's too easy. I'm not going to use the car because he already said that. I'm going to say going anywhere where you can shop and not having a specific list. And it could be online. It could be in person. It could be a grocery store. It could be a retail store. I'm just going to say shopping without a list. Is that on your list?
Yes.
I haven't watched this video, y'all. I promise.
It's not on the list of that video, but it's on my list.
Okay. It's on this list because reason I say that, we go shopping. You can go to the mall. When I go to the mall or I go to the grocery store, I'm telling you right now, it better not be nothing else that come up because I already know I want a steak and a potato. I'm getting everything: steak, potato, butter, sour cream, cheese, bacon bits, and I'm out. I'm not looking for nothing else. Why? Because I'll find myself in the peanut aisle. I'll find myself over here in the candy aisle. And then the next thing I know, I'm buying all kind of stuff, popcorn and potato chips. Not only am I eating unhealthy, but I'm spending money that I don't even need to spend. And then I look at my cabinet. I got all this stuff that's expired because I went shopping without a list. So that's number 1. Now,
I'm gonna be honest with you, Rod. So I've been cranking out a lot of content lately. So I may not even remember off the top of my head what's on that list.
All right. One thing that I will whatever you think right now, then, Clarence, I will be fair because I know how that is. I'm watching my own video. And I'm like, what did I say that? Wow, that was pretty cool.
Well, I can tell you the number 1 thing that I think that keeps people broke is, and you touched on this a little bit earlier, right? And that is getting too comfortable. Right. So one of the things that I learned is after high school or graduating from college, most people don't read another book. They don't get another certification. They don't do anything different. And I think in order to continue to level up, if that's your plan, right, if you want to get to the bag, you got to figure out how to differentiate yourself from everybody else. And most of the time, that's going to be through education, certification, going to conferences, expanding your network. I think that right there is probably the number 1 things.
I like that, man. And I'll tell you, that wasn't on my list. I'll be honest. That's a good one because it goes back. We stay stagnant. And I say all the time, I'm always learning. I'm learning stuff now I never even thought I'd be interested in.
Exactly.
But, I always said, I want to know, and I tell people, I know a whole lot. No, and that's not how I go. I know a little bit about a whole lot of stuff. I don't know a whole lot about a whole lot of stuff. I know a whole lot about a few things, but I know a little bit about a bunch of. I may be able to talk to you about a gold coin. I may be able to talk to you about, I don't know, how the ants operate. I can. I watch. I always want to learn at least 1 thing every day. And Clarence's slogan, when you go to his channel, when you go to his channel, you're going to see at the top, make yourself 1% better every day. Is that what it say?
1% better every day.
Every day. And when you get to 100, don't start over. Make yourself 1% better every day. Because something's going to be changed. So
and that's the perfect analogy that you had right there when you talked about, a little bit about a lot. And I always tell people that's what investing is all about. You don't have to know everything, right? If you know a little bit about a lot and you know what you want to do that's tailored to work towards your goals, that's all you need to do. All that other stuff, all that other noise that people are talking whenever you're flipping through, Instagram reels and TikTok reels, just block all that out.
You're right. And I want to pull some of these up real quick. Why I love to motivate, say I moved out of the city because I want simple. Goal is to retire in 8 to 10 years and reduce my carbon footprint, clothes, shoes, cars, bills, etc. Gotta go.
Get rid of it.
And I've never heard of carbon foot. I've heard of carbon. I heard of a footprint, but if that's what they calling it, man, that everything that's named there, clothes, shoes, cars. I asked myself one day when I moved here, why do I need 12 pair of shoes that I've never worn? And they weren't cheap. Why do I need probably 120 neckties when I don't even wear ties anymore? I don't even know if they call it neckties anymore. Why do I need all this? You don't. And Fanny said, hey, what's going on, Fanny? Fanny said, doing things to impress people who don't even care about you or what you have. We touched on that earlier, Fanny. And that, I never thought about it until this day. And that's why I like doing this, because, y'all, I'm not here to teach. I'm just facilitating the channel. I'm here to learn as well. That's why I created this series, because I know somebody is going to say something that I've never thought about. And that's the mindset we need to have. Don't say I know it all. Say, hey, I'm here to learn. So, and Lisa Smile just asking said, eating out DoorDash. That's a question I got for you, Clarence. Eating out in DoorDash. Boy, they making stuff so convenient, but what people are failing to realize is convenience comes with a cost. It's not, people now won't even get up and go to the drive-through to get no food. First, you had to walk in and get your food. Then they made a drive-through. You don't have to get out your car. Now they made it where you don't even have to leave your house. They got
dangerous, right?
So eating out, is it, in your opinion, Clarence, with these prices today, is it any more or any less expensive than going to the grocery store?
I would say it varies, right? I don't know if it's just so much the cost, but it's the health aspect of it too, right? If you're trying to live a healthier lifestyle and you're going out to eat all the time, I think that's a problem. But, for me personally, me and my family, we may go out to eat maybe twice a month. It's not because we can't afford it. It's because I'm so locked in that if I'm going to spend money, I want it to be on investing. It's crazy. Like, my wife wants to kill me sometimes, but that's just how laser focused I am. If I'm going to go buy a new iPhone, well, then I'm going to go buy a couple shares of Apple too, right? If I can't buy Apple, I'm not buying the product, right? So, for me, that's what it really always comes back to. What's the best use of those dollars? Because I had to work for that, right? So an hour of my life or 2 hours of my life to go out to eat, I'd rather eat at home.
And that's what I say, man, because eating at home, number one, you have more of an idea of what you're eating. When you eat out, you don't know what you're eating.
Exactly.
They say it's a chicken strip, but is it really a chicken strip? We don't know. We don't know what's in that. And they may be putting stuff in food in the grocery stores, but I don't think it is as not healthy as eating out or getting stuff you don't know what it is. But then I look at the cost of it. And how many times now when you go to eat out, you order fries, they don't even offer you ketchup. You got a whole bag full of greasy stuff. You don't have any napkins. Just a service. That alone just throw me off. So I was wondering.
Especially after COVID, right? After COVID, it seemed like everything went downhill. And I don't know how familiar you are with the Charlotte area, but it's growing like 10x, 20x since I've been here. And it seems like things are just so much worse. like I said, I'd rather just eat at home. I don't even want to leave my house a lot of times because it costs you $100 just to leave your house nowadays. You know, you leave and go anywhere, that's a bill.
Right, right. And just asking for a friend said people pleasing as far as girls trip and gifts for parties. That's a good one. You know, I ain't been on no guys trip. Well, I went on a bunch of them in the Navy, you know, involuntarily, but gifts for parties. That's a good one because once again, keep it up with the joke. My gift got to be better than that person's gift, or I'm getting the grandbaby something. The baby's only one, but I'm gonna go get them a talking robot that blow up the jump house and all, and the baby don't even know what it is yet. You know, I personally would wait till the baby's 5, take the money I was gonna spend when they were 1, invest it, flip it like pancakes, and when it's 5, I'm not even spending my money anymore. I'm spending profits that I made from investing. That's just how I roll. But
that's where no comes into play, right? You got to be able to say, no, I'm not doing that. Right. And if you're really trying to get on track financially, I'm not buying anything. It's not because I don't care about you. It's because I'm trying to get myself together. Right. And that's where no comes into play.
And Fanny said, I'm so guilty the Jetsons messed us up. Yeah, man. We don't do nothing no more. I mean, I don't use whatever that stuff, DoorDash, because I tried it one time. I got my food, it was cold. I retired from DoorDash or Uber Eats, whatever it was. Now I got stock in them because I know everybody else using them, but I don't have them, so I don't use it. And we got, what up, David? What up, Cropper? What's going on, man? He said, let me get back to these comments. It's the waste of money eating out. I totally agree. It depends. It depends. Now, twice a month if you're celebrating something, but every day, I wouldn't say it's a waste because there is times where I will eat out. I'll go and treat myself for a celebratory dinner or something like that. But every day, just I don't feel like cooking, nah. And it's not healthy.
Yeah.
Good point.
At all.
Do you ever DCA into individual stocks? That's a question from Lisa J. Stocks.
What's up, Lisa? Yeah, I do. So one of the things that I try to do is I try to keep my portfolio kind of small, right? But oftentimes I find myself, I have like 20 stocks in my portfolio and I always have to trim them down a little bit. I don't really talk about individual stocks on my channel. Maybe that'll be something that I do in the future. Right now, I'm just really focusing on just trying to help people to get into the market. But the individual stocks that I invest in are kind of the simple ones, the mainstream ones, right? I really like Microsoft. I really like Google. I like Apple. I like NVIDIA. And I really, really like Waste Management. So that's one of my top holdings is Waste Management. I always tell people like, yeah, it's garbage, but it's good garbage though. So
you know what? It's funny, Clarence, because I have stock in Waste Management. And I tell people someone else's trash is Rod's treasure. Exactly. And if people look, I think I did a video on it. If I haven't, I will be. It's a good stock to have. And I'm more of an individual stock guy than I have ETFs, several, but I like the ownership of a company, you know. And a lot of people don't realize that when you have an ETF, you don't really own that company. The brokerage owns the stock. You just part of that brokerage. I like to say, hey, I physically own Google or Microsoft or Amazon or Waste Management, you know, but everybody, and I like what Clarence is doing. Like, he's just trying to get people in the game. And the easiest way to get in the game is not convolute their minds with all these different stocks, but make it simple with the ETF, like a VOO or a VTI, VGT for 400. And which one did you do for 400 and some days? Was that?
It might have been VOO. I got a couple that I've been doing daily investing on, right? And that's kind of where Invest and Chill came along because I sit at home, right? I work from home. I work remotely. And in the background, I always have on like CNBC, right? And there'll be the stock ticker symbols on there. And I like to, research stocks and chart stocks and all that good stuff. But not everybody wants to do that, right? Some people just want to invest and not have to worry about it. So that's really why I started focusing on index funds. But in the future, I'll probably do a few videos about some of the individual stocks that I like for sure.
And Lisa has a thing here. I think I remember you doing Bitcoin. But before you get into that, the last video I saw, you had invested 101 days consecutive into Bitcoin. What are your thoughts on crypto and Bitcoin? It said here are my thoughts, but I didn't watch it. I wanted to hear it here
Yeah,
first.
I'm not a big crypto guy. And it's not because I don't believe in it or I think that there's anything wrong with it. It's just not an avenue that I've went down.
Mhm.
I think there's a place for it, which is why I started investing in Bitcoin on my portfolio that I started building out on my channel. But I plan to keep it as a relatively small portion of my overall investments. I think it's a good hedge against the stock market. And I think it's just a good hedge against the US dollar, to be honest with you, because who knows what's going on with the US dollar. They're probably going to be printing more money this year, which means inflation could potentially go up. And I think it's just a good place to park the dollars at. Again, I'm not like a crypto bro. I don't know all of the lingo with crypto and all that good stuff, which is why I started investing in Bitcoin, because it was either going to be Bitcoin or Ethereum. All the other stuff, I'll let everybody else deal with that.
And that's what I was going to say. I wish they would have kept it to maybe 5 coins, not 5 gazillion. And crypto is frightening as far as I'm probably the opposite. I believe that it's going to come to fruition the way everybody think it is. It's going to be the currency, world currency. It could be Bitcoin, and maybe something else that they decide.
Yeah.
But I will tell anyone that's thinking about crypto in anything, never invest a dollar you can't afford to lose. When I first got into it, not going to name the 2 or 3 companies, but total, I lost about $18,000.
Yeah.
Because these companies went bankrupt. When you deal with crypto, it's decentralized. There is no 1-800 number, ladies and gentlemen. There is no one to call. You get with the wrong company. And I mean, I think that one of those companies, they try to do some kind of lawsuit or something to get people their money back. But you have to know what you're doing. And I really believe I've been doing some tests going probably the fourth quarter, 24, 25, even to now, where I'll stand at a cashier, transfer money right there on the dime, and I'm transferring crypto where I've taken profits. I don't have to wait 5 days for it to clear like I do a stock or ETF. I'm doing it instantaneous, and I really believe that's where it's going. But if it don't, hey, I learned something new. If it does, I'm ahead of the power.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's why I have it as a smaller portion of my overall investments. But, I think it's a good hedge.
Yeah. And just as I said, thinking you need to upgrade everything such as cars, iPhone, and TVs. Yeah, we kind of hit that. And people, man, I don't even know what iPhone I have. I think the 14, 15. I know I don't have a 17, and I don't care. As long as this will work, when it start working, I get to one that's close to the one they have. I get to one that's on sale.
Exactly. And as you start doing better for yourself financially, I think you stop worrying about those things, right? Like you said, you're not wearing the ties and the Jordans and the jewelry. And most people that I come in contact with, that I know have a really high net worth, you'll never even know.
No,
crazy how that works.
If y'all have saw me, boy, some days I may go to my favorite place in the world, Kroger, and I look like I'm homeless. But it's advantageous because I ain't got to worry about nobody talking to me. Ain't nobody gonna mess with me. Ain't nobody gonna talk to me. I can go in, come out, and go about my business. Now, nobody's gonna say, "Hey, man, where you get that hoodie from?" Or where'd you get those nice shoes? I don't have to worry about that. Now, we motivated somebody. Fanny says she in the kitchen right now making tuna. She ain't going out to eat. She put Chick-fil-A. She gonna make some tuna. No extra stuff. No mayonnaise. No
DoorDash. None of that, right? So,
hey, if you're a content creator, please put hashtag content creator here. I mean, if you're a content creator, you're on IG, you can put hashtag content creator IG, Facebook, YT, whatever you want to put. And hey, just as I said, nothing wrong with that, Fanny. And generational wealth, create it. I had a young man, a protege of mine on Points Blank Travel. He knows investing and stuff as well. He's been on this channel a long time ago. I mentioned generational wealth, and he took it to a whole different level. At the time, the young man was 21, 22 years old. Nigel Schroeder, he's on YouTube as well. And he said he speaks more about generational opportunities. Let's also with this generational wealth, and it comes along with the generational wealth, but we have to start teaching our young people now. So when we hand them down that generational wealth, we worked hard, we give it to the next person, and they fumble the ball. We need to get it to where they pass it on and it keep going and going and going, or some kind of way.
Yeah, I agree with you, man.
Just asking said right at Cropper, hey, she's never thought about waste management, man. They gotta throw the trash away somewhere.
Tell you what, one of the things I really love about waste management, it's one of those industries where it's going to be hard to disrupt that, right? Because it's garbage. AI is not coming in and taking that away, and they've got the property, they've got insulated property technology. And if there are advancements in garbage disposal, they're going to be at the forefront of it. Waste management. Another one is Eli Lilly. That's another company I love.
I just bought into them last week, and because I kept seeing them in my ETFs, and I'm like, well, they got to be doing good. I'm tired of seeing them, so I purchased some individual stock.
Yeah.
And y'all, listen to how we're talking. I have a minor in finance, but I didn't learn this in college. I learned this self-taught. They didn't have a YouTube then. They didn't have a Google then. They didn't have an internet when I taught myself. Newspapers, libraries, magazines. Now it's so easy. Be your own teacher. And if you don't know, man, chat GPT it or something. Somebody gonna tell you, watch one of us. I guarantee you'll see a video that's relating to it. So now, one question I have, man, we hear people say this, and I think half of them are telling a fib, but paying yourself first. Are you consistent with that? Like,
I am. Yeah, I am. And I think paying yourself first means something different to anybody you ask, right? When I talk about pay yourself first, whenever I get paid, I have a certain amount of money that's automatically going into my brokerage account, automatically going into my savings account, and then I spend whatever's left. So when I talk about pay yourself first, it's really paying yourself, your future self first. Mm-hmm. Another thing that I think that people can do, and I do this as well, but probably not as much over the past, 6 months as I did before, is always invest in learning, right? Always invest in trying to learn something new, right? Whether that's going and trying to learn how to be better at prompting on ChatGPT or Gemini. Could it be like I went and got my my real estate license? I mean, it's just something that you can do to always improve yourself. So when I think of pay yourself first, those are the things that I think about.
Gotcha. Now, when it comes to investing, Clarence, and we're going to be wrapping this up shortly. When it comes to investing, what would you say is the foundation? I know when I went to college, my professor, he named something that was the foundation. Like, when I say foundation, is it high yield savings account? Is it an emergency fund? Is it a life insurance? Is it stocks, crypto, ETF? What do you think the foundation? Where would a person start?
And I've talked about this already a couple of times, but I think it starts with the debt. I think you have to get yourself out of debt. And when I say out of debt, everything except for mortgage or rent. Once you do that, it clears up so many opportunities for you. I'm not a fan of the life insurance investing that a lot of people are talking about nowadays. I'm not a big fan of that. But just getting out of debt will open up so many opportunities for you. Taking advantage of, your corporate sponsor 401k and getting that match. Investing in a health savings account. A lot of people don't invest in those. I absolutely do, because I know that, I not only am I going to be able to invest in that with pre-tax dollars, but I can use that money for qualified medical bills. I can also invest that money in the stock market, and as it grows, I can take that money out tax-free as well. So I talked about hopefully retiring from corporate America at 55. The money that I'm building in that HSA is going to be the money that's going to bridge the gap for my healthcare costs from 55 to 65. Hopefully it stays at 65 and they don't raise the age. But those are the things that I think about.
And you just made me think about something else. And I've been meaning to look into this, which is HSA. I saw Chris Sane talking about it on one of his videos. And I retired military, I have the VA, but I like today and all this holiday period, it's not bad to have a backup and have some other alternative. I always keep a civilian PCP or primary care physician as well, but that's money out of my pocket, or another thing, like you said something as far as foundation. When I went to college, my professor said life insurance. And I think right now, if I had to answer that question, I would say the foundation, debt, obviously, but a high yield savings account, an emergency fund. And I'm going to bring up something that a lot of people, I don't think people think about. And I'm going to be bold enough because I don't think anyone can deliver it the way I can. I'm going to do a video on this. People always say you have to have an emergency fund, 3 to 6 months or 6 months to 9 months worth of expenses. And then when they get there, my question is, do they stop? Do people stop when they get to a certain point on their emergency fund? Now, first of all, get a high yield savings account. Don't make your emergency fund be under the mattress or in a cookie jar. Get something that's going to earn you interest. Like Clarence did a video, compound interest. Lisa J. Sox talking about it all the time. I talk about it. You'll be amazed at what compound interest can do for you and your journey to wealth. It's amazing. But when I look at this high yield savings account and look at emergency fund, I don't stop when I get to 6 months or 9 months or whatever they come up with next because of inflation. If I just got this amount of money and it's in a normal bank that's getting 0.01% interest, inflation is going to outpace that. So I'm going to continue. I may scale back on how much I put in my emergency fund, but I'm going to continue to put something to try to keep up with inflation because my $5,000 in my emergency fund now may not be worth $5,000 when I really need it for an emergency. That's just something I want to put out there. You have any thoughts on that, Clarence?
Yeah. So I think I typically stop at about in that 3 to 6 month range. That's not to say that I don't continue to invest. I mean, to put money in there, depending on what I have going on, right? So if I know that I want to make a purchase, I want to try to put an offer in on a rental property, I'll continue to put money in that account because it's easy, accessible, all that good stuff. But once I hit that 6 months is probably going to be the max, I'm putting everything else into the market because I want that money working for me. It's liquid enough that I can pull it out whenever I need it. And what I've learned over the past 10 years or so is that I typically don't have an issue that arises that's more than that $10,000, for example, that I may have in that account.
Right.
So that's usually my take on it, but there's no right or wrong way to attack this, right? If you want to, put more money into that account because, A, you're worried about inflation, or B, you're thinking about a purchase that you want to make down the road. I think there's, it depends on what you're doing and what your overall goals are.
Right. Gotcha. Well, I only have a couple more questions here. Did we talk about people caring about your problems?
No, we didn't talk about that.
All right, man. I got to ask you. I don't know what you meant, but I had to agree with you whether I knew what you meant or not. But you did a video. No one really cares about your problems. What were you referring to?
So that was really, I think someone had left a comment in one of my videos and they were making excuses of why they couldn't do something. Mm-hmm. And the type of personality that I have, right, is I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't care, where you started. It's just about how you finish. So when I made that video that nobody cares about your problems, they really don't, because everybody has something that they're dealing with, right? You and we're doing this live stream right now. We both have problems off camera, right, that we have to deal with. Right. You're worried about what you have going on. I'm worried about what I have going on. So I just think in general, most people don't really think about how other people have issues the same as they do. And they don't care. They're worried about their own day-to-days.
Right. And I have to agree with you. A lot of times negativity, it spreads so fast. It's like, I don't know. I know what I want to say, but I don't want to say it. But it just spreads so fast. And if I do have a problem, if it's so bad where I got to come on here, I can turn it or make it in a way where I can benefit and learn from whatever problem I'm going through, and maybe help someone else that may be going through the same problem. But I'm not going to come on here and be Debbie Downer or Nancy Negative or whatever they call these people and just bring everybody down because I'm down. And like Clarence said, don't nobody really care about my problems because they have their own set of problems. So I just wonder what you were talking about.
Again, on my channel, I always say there's no excuses. If you're dealt a bad hand and that's where you start, you got to deal with it because the next person doesn't care. They're hungry. They want that spot that you want. Mm-hmm. And they're going to do whatever it takes to get there. And if you want to sit there and you want to make excuses because, you were dealt a bad hand, whatever it may be, the outside world doesn't care about that.
All right. I have 2 questions left, Clarence, because you're on the East Coast and I want to be cognizant.
That's all right, man. I got time.
Okay. Number 1. At what point mentally, not necessarily your bank account, at what point did you feel like you had financially made it mentally?
I would say whenever I got to a point to where most of the things that I was doing, I didn't worry about how much it was going to cost me. Not because I've got so much money. It's because I have automations and systems set up that I know that whatever's in my checking account, I can spend that money on whatever I want because I've already taken care of everything else that needs to be done, right? We've already talked about having that money automatically put into my checking account, my savings account, my brokerage account, my mortgage. Everything that I do is on autopilot. Mm-hmm. And what I found out is that if you take yourself out of having to do these things every single month, pay bills, invest, whatever, it makes life so much easier. So that's when I kind of knew that I was like, all right, I'm in a really good place because all these things are happening behind the scenes. I don't have to do anything because it's being done automatically. And it just takes a weight off your shoulders. It really does. And I made a video about that, about automation, setting up that automation and doing that one time and letting that just kind of do its thing. And that's how you're going to be able to have more success whenever you set up. You have processes that you set up and you let it do its thing and you can focus on other things.
And you bring up a good point because if you don't, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't trust yourself that you're going to be disciplined enough, and we've all been through it, where you won't invest every week or every payday or every month, make a recurring investment. Put it on $10, $100, whatever you got to invest, and you don't have to worry about it. It's going to happen every month. And before you know it, it's like it's not happening. And then when you get ready to retire or whatever you want to use the money for, you may have a gigantic nest egg that you never thought would be possible.
Think about it this way, right? So if you invest in a 401k, that's automatically being done for you. It's hard when you get your check, you don't even think about it anymore because you know that this is how much money that you're bringing home. So I kind of think about it that way, right? It's automatically being done. And I know what I have in my account is what I can go and do whatever I want to do with. And it just made things so much easier.
Okay. Hey, Fanny is asking if anyone, and I'll look for it. I'll find that automation video and I'll put it in here. Or if anyone can go to Clarence's, any person with a wrench can go to Clarence's channel, I'll do it. It'll probably be easier because I'd rather y'all just tap in. I'll ask a question and I'll do it because I want people to be focused on this. Well, to answer the question I asked you, Clarence, and like I say, y'all, this is an interview. This is more of a conversation. Mentally, from a mindset standpoint, when I figured I had financially made it, was when I walked into a mall and had a pocket full of money, whether credit cards, cash, debit cards, whatever, and walked out of there with absolutely nothing. Because typically the old Rod, when he walked into a mall with a pocket full of money, he was going to find something. And it was going to typically be something I didn't need. It was going to be something that I thought I wanted. Now, when I was able to walk into a mall with thousands of dollars in my wallet and could have bought anything I wanted to in that mall and walked out with nothing, and I saw some stuff I wanted, but I saw absolutely nothing that I needed. I want y'all to let that sink in. Sometimes if we forego a temporary want, it's not something you just gonna want today, you're gonna want tomorrow. You about it, end of the week, you probably forgot about it. Start thinking about, do I really need this? Or could I invest this money, make it grow, and maybe take that that bucket list trip, or that take the family on a vacation, or maybe I wanted to, for my 50th birthday to go here, or my 40th birthday to go there. You know, set goals for yourself. And that's all I say. Now,
that's a good point. That's a good point, because I can tell you, as I've just been more locked in, right? Like as the years go by and I'm just so focused on trying to continue doing what I'm doing, that happens to me all the time too. I'll go somewhere and I'll leave and I'll be like, I came in here, I didn't even get anything. Like, I don't know. It's just, it's strange. And I think the more money that I've been able to make throughout the, course of my life, the less like I want to spend in it. It's not because I'm hoarding. It's just that there's nothing for me to buy. It's nothing that I want. So.
And that it is I did a video. If you go to a store, a grocery store, you see all this stuff, or even Ross or Marshall's, wherever you go, you see all this stuff, you put it in your shopping cart. By the time you get to the cashier, you probably gonna find some reasons why you don't need such and such and such. I do it all the time. Well, I have a shopping cart full of stuff. And I feel sorry for the people that work there, because they end up having to put it back because I don't live with it, I just get off on, hey, thank you. Here's the link. Thank you, just asking for a friend. Here's a link to that video of Clarence talking about, and I'm going to put another, and now this could be the same one. I think we were doing it at the same time. Let me look. Yeah, here's another one as well. So there's 2 videos about automating your investment process, recurring investments. Y'all check it out, man. That's the simplest way to go. And I would challenge anyone that does this. Don't look at it for like 3 months. Don't worry about making money, losing money. Just invest what you can afford to invest, and just let it ride. What do you say, Clarence? Because I don't even want to start saying what you say. What do you say? Invest
and chill.
Invest and chill, y'all.
Invest and chill. If you can invest and chill, honestly, you can change your whole life in 1 year. In 1 year.
I like this. You see everything you want when you're broke. Woo! Well, that's
100% right.
Thank y'all for everybody that's putting comments in here, because I'm seeing some great comments, like the things we don't, keeping up, upgrading everything, the phones, the TVs, and buying everything when you broke. And if you like me, when I first joined the Navy, y'all, I was making $283 every 2 weeks after taxes. 283.00. No money at all.
Yeah.
And boy, when I got promoted, I had a Christmas list beyond belief for everything I wanted, because I was broke. And let me tell you, I went out there and bought as much as I could, and I was still broke. So, we have to be smarter. Hey, we got Fire Dr. Ninja Turtle here. And in case y'all don't know, he's not a firefighter. Nothing's on fire, but that stands for Financially Independent, Retire Early. He has a channel as well. He's actually trying to get monetized. Y'all check him out. And he says, hello, Rod and Clarence. The Nichols said, hey, what's up, Big Murph? Just going through these real quick. I have subscribed to Clarence. Hey, that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about, just subscribing and sharing this knowledge. And my homeboy Shelton from Your Favorite Couple always say collaboration over competition. And Clarence was telling me, and I noticed he's never gone live. So Clarence, is this your first live?
First live, man. I do all mine pre-recorded. I try to do them all in one day, right? So I'll go on a Sunday. I'll try to, batch record, because I'm busy throughout the week, and like I said, 2025 was a big year for my channel, man. I started that year with about 650 to 700 subscribers, and, just put in the work and stay focused, man. And that's really what it's all about. I know you said the one gentleman that was just there was trying to get monetized. So hopefully, that happens for him soon.
And I want to say something, and it's going to sound like it's centered around YouTube, but this is going to be motivational. And Clarence is going to have to tell a story, because I purposely didn't watch a lot of the videos with these questions, because I want to go back, but I wanted to hear his response firsthand. Clarence did a video where he got 1,300 subscribers from one video.
Yeah.
How? How? Somebody tell me how.
That was the video, and I think you brought it up earlier, which was Get Rich and Stay Quiet. I can't remember the exact
Mhm.
title of that, but you know, the interesting thing about that is, and we talked about this a little bit before we went live, is I don't script any of my content, right? I just turn the camera on and I start going. I have maybe some bullet points and things of that nature. And people really resonated with that, right? They were just like, a lot of people in the comments start talking about how, you know, whenever friends or family might know that they're doing well, they're always either hitting them up for money or trying to tear them down or tear down their goals or say it's not going to work. And I think it just really resonated with a lot of people. And that one video that I did pretty much in one take that I didn't think was really going to do too much ended up being my best video at that time.
1,300. And the reason I brought that up, because a lot of people in here may not even be YouTubers or content creators, but all it takes is one opportunity. One video, one opportunity, one saying I can and not I can't. And that's going to be in my closing statements about I can't. But it just takes one thing that can change your whole mindset, your whole life, your whole outlook on things. And that's what I'm trying to do with this series and this channel. Just get people to see that. I don't know, maybe it did, but I'm gonna ask Clarence, did money fall out the sky and just hit you in the head?
I wish it did. I wish it did, you know.
Money don't just fall out the sky. Most people, I'm not saying everyone, they have to work for it. They have to find a way and make what works for them beneficial for not only them, maybe their family, their children, their nieces, nephews, whoever, their grandkids. That's what we're trying to relay here. And I do want to point this out because this is a good point. I find I'm less likely to spend my cash, the cards or the devil. That's a good point, because these cards now, if you're like me, I don't look at my card until it say not authorized at the cashier or whatever it say up there. That's what I look and say, wow.
I agree with that. That was one of the very first things that got me in trouble in my 20s were credit cards, man. You step foot on a college campus, you got all these people there ready to give you credit cards. You go out there, spend money, can buy whatever you want with money that you don't have, and you spend so much time working to pay that off, man. And that was a lesson learned in my 20s. I made quite a few videos on my channel about how I was in credit card debt in my 20s and the process that I actually went through in order to get those paid off and never put myself back in that position ever again.
Cool, man. And that's those cards are something else, man. And it's not just credit cards, it's debit cards as well. You know,
Klarna, Afterpay, all that. And
they making it so simple now, man. This mobile wallet thing, that's even more dangerous. I mean, you just go up there with your phone and you just we have to be aware of what we're doing, and you have to have discipline. I'm happy to partner. Fanny said, I'm happy to partner with anyone on my mukbang channel. I'll eat and you talk. I have 4,000 subs. Hey, if I could multi-stream, I'll come over there with you, Fanny. And yeah, I'll do all the talking in the world. You go have to chime in though. You ain't gonna be able to just y'all check out Fanny, man. Fanny 601. She's actually hilarious if you watch her on Instagram. Right, Rod? One idea from being a millionaire. That's what I'm talking about. You never know, man. A lot of people don't remember. A lot of people don't even know. I remember when Jeff Bezos, because I bought some from him, when he sold books out of his garage for college students. I was one of the people that I wish I'd have knew it. I probably would have took a picture of it or something, but this guy was selling books out of a garage. And now everything, I'm watching NFL. It's got something to do with Jeff Bezos. Yeah. You know, it's crazy, man. The Nichols said they sub to Clarence and Loves to motivate. Appreciate you. Big Murph is saying hello to Fanny. So, last question, Clarence. What investments are you looking at for 2026?
You know what? I'm looking to stay pretty simple for 2026. There's a lot of unknowns going on right now, you know. Everybody's been talking about the market pullback for a couple years now, and I'm keeping my eye on that. So I'm staying very simple. I made a video a couple weeks ago where I talked about the 5 investments that I'm looking at for 2026, and it's going to be Microsoft, it's going to be Apple, it's going to be Nvidia, Eli Lilly, Waste Management. Those are going to be the top ones that I'm going to be focusing on in 2026.
What are your thoughts on Broadcom?
I like Broadcom. So Broadcom, if you've been following the news on them, they have a new CEO, and he's got a ton of financial incentives tied to his contract to hit a certain stock price here in the near future. I think they're a good play for the long term, but I truly believe that they're burning their customers now because they want to try to get to that stock price. And I think it's ultimately going to come back to hurt them.
So you're going to keep it simple. I'm going to try to do that too. And I'm being serious because I have a vast portfolio and it's starting to drive me nuts. One of the things I'm going to keep my eye on, and y'all heard it here first on this live stream, they've been taking a beating, but it's not making sense to me. And I've been watching them. I'm not going to do one and try to figure it all out. I am going to separate Eli Lilly, but that healthcare sector, I'm keeping my eye on it. I'm not telling nobody else what to do. I'm just saying I'm keeping my eye on it. But I think my things is just really, I want probably 3 stocks where I just build up to as many shares as I can. And then probably 3 ETFs I want to do the same thing and everything else. Because I have a bad habit of, I don't keep up with the Joneses. I keep up with the stocks. If this stock is doing good, I'm jumping over here. If this stock is doing good, I'm over there. And then that's driving me crazy. So
yeah, I think at the towards the end of last year, I probably had 20 individual stocks and some ETFs in my main brokerage. And I just had to start trimming some of these. So I took some profit on some and rolled that into other investments. Like I said, if I could be at around 10 to 12, and that includes my ETFs, then that's probably the sweet spot for me. But 4 to 6 are going to be the main ones that I'm going to be focusing on putting more money in. And then the others I'll throw, $20, $30, $40, $50 here and there into those. But the key ones that I mentioned are the ones that I'm going to be locked in on.
Gotcha. I think, and I see Lisa's comment say, I believe it when I see it, Rod. She get on me all the time because I don't even want to say the number of stocks. But keep in mind on Robinhood, which I use for this channel, you're going to see a lot of stocks but maybe not because I'm not making any real small purchases right now. So, but my Fidelity and my JP Morgan and my, what's that other one? I got another one. I can't even think of it. That's going to get trimmed down a lot. So, and I learned that I cannot have more than one main card. I have had one card for the past 25 years with a low limit. And you're speaking of credit cards. Dr. Ninja. Okay. And it's hard for me to speak on that because I have a whole nother channel with points and miles, but I will tell you, don't have more cards than you can manage. And in this case, his was 1. If you can only manage 1, just get 1. If you can manage 2, get 2, but don't have more than you can manage.
I think one point I'll make on that is that if you do use credit card, pay it off in full every single month. Don't carry a balance. I haven't paid interest on a credit card in 15 years. Yeah, so there's a way to strategically use credit cards, to take advantage of rewards, points, and all that good stuff, as long as you're responsible enough to pay them off every single month.
And don't buy frivolous stuff just to get the points in mind.
Don't do it.
Just earn them as you can. And then if you don't have enough points or miles to get that hotel room or take that flight, sometimes they'll have where you can combine points and miles with cash. Do something, but don't put yourself in debt to just take a flight and say, I didn't pay anything. I used airline miles. Don't do that.
Right.
We got Sumnack here says, just sub to Clarence. That's the whole purpose of this. We want people seeing other people that are out there, just asking for a friend. She dropped a link for Dr. Ninja Turtle Fire.
I'll definitely go check that out.
Yeah, he's got some interesting stuff over there. Good content creator, big supporter. So y'all check it out. Also check out Lisa J Stocks, another perspective on investing. And she keeps it simple as well. That's why she said, I'll believe it when I see it, Rod, because mine is not simple. And I'm telling you, it make my head hurt now. So it's time to simplify it in 2026. Fire thanking Keisha, which is just asking for dropping that link. I am now. Oh, hold up. Who is that? And that's Fanny's. It might be, that's a video for Fanny. So y'all can go there and then subscribe to her channel. And I am now thinking about for-profit colleges as I'm an adjunct professor. Okay. So for-profit colleges. Okay. Wow. I didn't know you were I wonder where that doctor came from. I was gonna ask you, doctor, but I didn't want to offend you because I was gonna say, I wonder what he a doctor of. Now I know you're a professor. Okay. What do you call it? Is that a PhD? No, ain't a PhD. Is that a PhD?
PhD. Yep.
Yeah. And you're okay. You're welcome, Dr. Ninja Turtle. What's up, my sister Key? She's also in the Points and Miles community, just showing some love. I'll catch the replay. Thank you. Y'all check out Kiki. We got Meet and I, the founders of the Meet and I Awards, which will be airing January 17th, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. And I am up for about 4 awards, I believe, including one for this channel. Got a few behind me. So definitely check them out. What's up, PPT panel? Peace to the chat. I am not responsible with my credit card. Therefore, 1 is my limit. Hey, at least you honest, man. And that's what it is. We be honest with ourselves, then it's all good. And hey, what's up? I'm not going to pull it. I am real estate. No, I am real estate. No, the stock market. All right, you got to break that one down for me, Doc. Because that one got me confused. I think you're trying to give me an exam on the slide, man. That one got me confused. All right. So, Buzz, where you been, Buzz? I thought you had left me, man. Said, what's up, Rob? I'm in here. What did I miss? Catch me up, man. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to catch you up real quick. You got 2 everyday dudes just trying to show people how easy it is to invest and get to wealth. But you have to have patience. Perseverance equals prosperity. I'm a firm believer in that. Patience, perseverance equals prosperity. You're not going to get there overnight. You could go broke overnight, but to get to wealth, it's not going to be overnight. So please keep that in mind. You got a PhD, all right, not the stock market type. Oh, okay. So you're a real estate, not the stock market. Okay. So you're in the real estate. All right. Well, Clarence, man, you got an important word. We've been on here an hour and 27 minutes. I'm kind of like 12 minutes over me wanting to keep you here. Anything you want to add, man?
No, I'll just say I appreciate you bringing me on your channel. I've been watching some of your videos over the past few months. I really like what you're doing on your channel. And to your point, it's all just 2 everyday guys here having a conversation and really trying to help to educate people to show them that you don't need a lot of money to get started with building wealth. It's all about consistency and patience. I mean, if you have those 2 things, you can build wealth. I truly believe that if you become debt-free, you can change your whole financial life in as little as 12 months. I truly believe that.
Totally. And, Clarence thanked me for having him on the channel. I reach out to people, and I said it at the beginning, but 8,000 subscribers, 1,300 of those subscribers came from one video. Only 400, I say only because there are people like me that have more videos out but less subscribers. So he's doing something right. In my closing statement, ladies and gentlemen, I will say tonight you have witnessed greatness, not from Rod. I'm speaking of Clarence. And when I say great doesn't mean you have to build a statue or be a pro athlete. Great is just a person that's trying to show and help other people, something that we really don't see today, to become a better version of themselves. Like his slogan, become 1% better every day. You will be amazed at how far you can go in life, how far you can go. It all starts within you. I often say, you want to be a CEO? Everybody got CEO behind their name, CEO of this record company or this book company. You are the CEO of you, of your life. You are a business. Whether you want to be or not, you are. Take charge, because at the end of the day, what Clarence said, no one really cares about your problems. They don't. They really don't. And I'm sorry, I was looking at a message, but please, man, please share this video out. I'm not worried about watch time. I'm not worried about views. I'm worried about people getting the information. People need to hear stuff like this, because that myth of how hard it is and how difficult it is, the hardest part is just like going to the gym. It's getting up, getting dressed, and going. Open a brokerage account, open a high yield savings account, whatever you got to do to get you started, get you going. That's the hard part. Once you get that done, watch Clarence's video, recurring investments, and What it is, Clarence? Invest in what?
Invest and chill, man.
Invest and chill.
That's what it's all about.
Matter of fact, when I go to the gym, that's what I do. I get on the bike and chill. I don't even know if I'm losing any calories. I just get on the bike and chill. But I went. That's the main. I lose something. I went. Let me read these here. We're going to get Mr. Patrick believes in SGHD. He's all right with me. Right. Yeah. I ain't going to even start that with y'all.
I saw your video on that. I saw your last video on that.
Yeah, man, I almost got killed behind that video, man. Everybody was mad at me. I had the worst thumbs down rating in history. I think that's how I met Buzz. He was ready to, man, are you crazy? And then I started seeing a lot of content creators said, no, I don't know about this SCHD stuff. I'm very interested because I did one, not the one I just did. I did one earlier that and really realty income, man. I didn't know if I was going to do another video, but I'm waiting to see what happens when they redo it. I know they got to because they jacked it up in 25. Y'all don't have to believe me. So
I think SCHD is good if you understand how it fits into your portfolio, right? If you're looking for growth, this probably isn't the play for you. But if you're looking for a long-term dividend play, I like it for that. If I'm looking for aggressive growth, I like VGT.
I like VGT, but you know what? Y'all, we're talking VGT is Vanguard Technology ETF. I like XLK, which I believe is iShares or something like that. Technology. I like both, and I have a hard time. So what do, Lisa? I buy both of them. I just get both of them and play Ring Around the Roses with them. But I think, have you looked at FDVV from Fidelity?
I have not.
Look at that. It's outperforming it. Hey, Buzz, you hear that? It's outperforming SCHD. I did an extensive research before I made that video that almost got me taken out. So y'all check it out. Hey, we got East Boogie. What it do, man? It says, good evening, Rod. Starting 2026 with buying PG. Is that Procter & Gamble today? Well, man, hey, ain't nothing wrong with it. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking. Hold up, man. I think I got a button for everybody in here. I think I do. I probably can't even find my own stuff here. But hey, congratulations. Way to go. Way to go, East Boogie. I need me a cool name.
PG's a good investment.
I need something like West Side. You East Boogie. I'm going to be West Side. Every time I see you, I'm just going to say West Side. You East Boogie. Hey, I love this. I appreciate Clarence's philosophy. Get debt free. That's why I wanted him on here. Hey, Bud, man, I'm telling you, VUG is my play. Hey, I got VUG, and that's the Vanguard Growth Fund. It do good. It did good and don't do good. But y'all, I can't be looking at what y'all put in here because I got a problem. I got too many stocks. I got to get rid of some stuff. And between Clarence and y'all ain't helping your boy out, man. Y'all gonna help me with more stuff. Everything y'all to name. Just tell you how bad I am. Everything everybody named here, I got. I got a problem. I got a problem. So I hear you, Rod. We're going to get ready to raise up. Check out the consistency or lack thereof of FDVs. Oh, yeah. He got a point. I ain't want to mention, but thank you, Buzz, for going, keeping me straight. They only pay you, I want to say, semi-annually is what they say, but it could be all over the place. That's why I kept some VYM just so when that happened. I still didn't go back to SCHD. I am maybe though.
Yeah, I just got a dividend payout on SCHD that was able to buy a full share. So I started that investment on my portfolio on my channel a little over a year ago, back in 2024. I can't remember the dates, but that one right there, I really like SCHD. I got to ride with that one.
Hey man, y'all might get me.
I like the dividend play. I like the dividend play.
I like that, Buzz. You'll see chaos riddled with cuts. A retiree cannot count on that. You're right. And if you're retired or close to retirement, I probably wouldn't roll with FDVV. I would get something more safe. I'm a fan of, I don't like that weekly, monthly, ultra this and that, but I do have some monthly paying dividend stocks and ETFs that I'm Main Street Capital. I like them. So this is what I wanted to see. And this is a perfect way to end this. This was good. Thank you both. Clarence, it was an honor to have you here, man.
Appreciate it.
I don't have anything else. If you don't have anything else, I'm going to close us out, man. I know it's getting late over there on the East Coast. I want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight. I want to thank all the channel the subscribers, the viewers, the people that are thinking about subscribing and haven't crossed the line. I want to thank all the people that subscribed to Clarence and showed him love. Yo, again, we're just two ordinary guys that's talking about our journey. And as you can see, we have other people in the comments. They're on their journey. And if we all come together and just learn from one another, this could be a beautiful thing. And I'm not talking about my YouTube channel. I'm talking about just seeing people being more positive than negative. I would challenge everyone in this live stream this rest of this week. I have a hard time with this, but try to stop saying I can't and just leave that apostrophe T off and I can. And start with saying I can save $5 a month. I can save $10 a payday, whatever it is for you. With that being said, man, about to roll up out of here. Hey, Big Murph, since you ain't catch it already, you can't catch that replay, bro. That's just a little shameful. I ain't shameless. That's a shameful plug. Well, I ain't shameful either. I guess I am saying that's a plug, man. Yeah, check out the replay. With that being said, y'all, Clarence, I'm going to get up out of here. Hope y'all have a blessed and prosperous evening. I will be coming at you soon, dropping more heat, more fire, more knowledge, more importantly, showing you how I invest with a little amount of money. As always, shoot for the moon. If you don't make it, you're going to be amongst the stars. I can guarantee you. And with that being said, we out of here, y'all. Much love. Peace.